Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it facts straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step up to the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up?
What's up?
You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim, the Cheat Sheet Hicks, season opener Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But guess what? We're broadcasting all over the world. And we got two unique platforms that we're broadcasting on simultaneously. Got my hat a little crooked. I got to get used to wearing hats because my hair is not good. Broadcasting YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And I love the YouTube following. Jimmy is building. He's building. Let's get some more momentum with it. It's very important that you like the page. Go to it. All of our Facebook people, go over to YouTube and just go over there and like and subscribe to the page so you can get notifications in case something happened on Facebook. We want y'all to be prepared. And Jimmy, I got so much stuff to cover today, but I got one announcement, Jimmy. Got an announcement. Jimmy and Robert Hatter, Jimmy, we're going to put our name in the draft because everybody putting their name in the draft right now. So guess what? We might as well put our name in. Jimmy, every week, somebody is declaring for the draft, NBA draft. So guess what? Hey, let's see, can we declare? Hey, we probably better than some of these bums. But while we stuck in the house and I call it physically distancing, but being socially connected. This is my therapy, Jimmy, being able to talk for 2 hours with the Chop Shop people. And I got some, and I got to go here, Jimmy, to all of those struggling. I just want to send a shout out to the people that work in industries that are depressed right now. They are firing people, laying people off, and they're trying to make decisions based on the bottom line. But one thing I want to share, King Gamble and Chad Ware, to all the students that are at home and are able to do their lesson, Jimmy, hug your parents, hug your mom, hug your dad, because you are in a stable situation. There are so many young people out there that, Jimmy, don't have cable. They don't have laptops. Chad just told us that the other day. They don't have internet services. They can't have 3 to 4 meals a day. You know what I'm saying? They can't have 4 or 5 meals, 3 or 4 meals a day. And that represents, Jimmy, the majority. And because it's a tough time, Jimmy, I thought about myself. I said, to all the who's struggling in the hospitality business, Jimmy, you know how we used to like to go out and hang out and do some stuff. I want to thank you for your decades of amazing work. Jimmy, we used to go to Phil and Derek's. We used to go every, like 2 or 3 times a week. And those people, they did amazing work taking care of us. You made our life better. But I promise you this, when they can go back to work, when I can go back to these restaurants, I'm gonna tip like a mobster straight off the Lufthansa heist. You remember on Goodfellas when they come in there just tip, dude. I'm thinking of y'all. I'm gonna tip out the man, y'all. Hey, they gonna be calling me big money, right, Jimmy? I'm gonna be in my right pocket. You know what? No, I'm gonna be in my left pocket because I'm left-handed. Jimmy, a shout out to them people. I just wanted to, and understand, kids, hug your parents. And I know we got a lot of stuff to go, but Jimmy, before we go, 30 years ago today, Nike's Air Jordans debuted in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Raleigh-Durham area for $65 a pair. It's a day in history. And another day, I'm gonna show you, and if you hear me talk about this a lot, you understand why this day is so important to me. This day in 1976, Jimmy, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne started Apple. 1996 on this day. 76 on this day. Ronald Wayne takes a deal to exit 12 days later. They gave him $800. Okay? All right? Instead of taking the 10% they offered him. 10% of Apple today, Jimmy, is worth more than $100 billion. And then he sold his exit contract. You know, I got a picture of it. The exit contract with all of them signed and he exited. He sold that contract, to somebody for $500. Jimmy, in 2011, that same contract sold for $1.6 million. It was just a letter between the two saying he dissolved his. So, 19, yeah. And because, and everybody talk about Stephen Jobs was a douchebag and it's well documented and, it's all that. But Jimmy, my moral is we all make mistakes, Jimmy. Some are just bigger than the other ones. So what you got today, man? Yeah, what you got? Dirk Minifield, I thought about you this morning. Man. I wish you could call in or something today. Because I know we're going to have some NBA stuff. But, Jimmy, where you want to go today with this thing?
Oh, man. First and foremost, we get right into, yes, we are going to recap some of the, and exchange some of your thoughts from last night's movie on HBO, the, what do they call it? The Scheme. But first, we want to get into another thing that took place last night that made it quite memorable. A moment that we probably will never forget, and that is the Guy V. Lewis Award had a virtual ceremony last night, and everything appeared to be going like going pretty good. Like, okay,
I was rolling, Jimmy.
I never did the Zoom thing before. I'm like, okay, I see. So Zoom, you can make your own background. Okay, Zoom, I see. And I'm start thinking back on Sesame Street and on the PBS channel, they had the show Zoom. And I'm like, okay, Zoom. And all of a sudden, we got through the video, halfway through the video, and it showed all 10 of the finalists. They had a clip of each one. And shortly after getting into that clip, a hack took over. And the reason we say it was a hack because ironically today, and the CEO of Zoom was appeared on Good Morning America acknowledging the hack. Then they have articles all over the internet acknowledging the bugs, 2 critical bugs, especially if you have an Apple product, where they enable that person to come and take over your broadcast. And that's what appeared to have happened last night, but it was unfortunate. I think last night, this hacker came in and implemented what it sounded like an auto tone, where it kept looping over the word nigger over and over, and different variations of it. And then so it also appeared that hacker may not have been a hack comes, but then it appeared that other people that wasn't part of the hack got in it because it was coming from, it was different things going on. But bottom line, it was unfortunate, it was sad, and it spoiled most of the public being able to view the announcement. So the chair of the committee and all, and they went and hurried up and created a separate private link where only about 30 to 40 people were able to view the rest of the ceremony. And of course, we didn't know, Tremont Mark from Dickinson High School was selected as the recipient of the 2020 Guy V. Lewis Award. And, Tremont Mark, had a great season. I'm going to tell you right now, the voting was supremely close. And I didn't know whether the chair, was going to wield the power of 2 votes or 3 votes as Wooten did, or the late great Wooten did with the McDonald game. I don't know how it was going, because the vote had never been this close. It came down to an L.J. Cryer.
So it never been this close?
No.
Wow.
No. It never been this close. And so that's why I stayed out of it because I didn't want, like you asked yesterday, I'm like, we'll see. I don't know.
No, I know you weren't going to give it to me. I know you weren't. You knew at that time. You knew yesterday.
Oh, everybody's sending their stuff in. You don't know until the announcement, because the chairman has the power, if he so wishes to.
So y'all sent y'all stuff in on that day?
No, we sent our stuff in. You have sent your stuff in last week, last week, when we realized that understand, this thing was set for March 31st. So this was always the date that the Guy V. Lewis Award was going to take place. So the votes naturally had to been in by the previous weekend. I mean, and so, however, you don't know, by it being that close, you don't know what was going to happen. You don't know if all of a sudden one mysterious vote would have tied it up. Because my thing was, if that close, I said, well, hell, if it comes close, my suggestion would have been to give 2 awards. But they didn't feel that it was time enough would permitted them to get a second medal for that winner. And that was because they had already pre-ordered. That's a special, that medal, you just can't go to the Walmart and get that medal. And that was the thing. But I'm like, well, it's not my award. I just gave a suggestion. That would have been a good thing to do. But at the same time, and then, but Tremont Mark, man, guess what? I mean, it's, one thing, you guys never met Tremont Mark, and I mentioned he has that real nonchalant demeanor. Like, it's like, it's hard to see, you're hardly going to see him smiling on the outside, but he's often glowing on the inside.
Yeah, he's cool.
And he's
he's a cool little cat. He
cat.
ain't gonna be he's not too jovial, but he really just, but Jimmy, that was a loaded question you asked him yesterday.
Which one about? I asked him a question about which one? I asked him 3 different.
Yeah, the one
questions.
You asked him about who would he choose, and I thought that was a weird answer he gave.
Now here's the thing. When you mention the word loaded, I think the question was intriguing, and it was it was meant to be an alley oop type question for one or twofold. Number one,
Yeah.
the question I asked them guys, Tremont, I said, Tremont, if you could exclude yourself
Mm-hmm.
and you were on the panel, who would you have voted for
Yeah.
to win, to be the Guy V. Lewis Award winner? So I was thinking that really, when I asked the question, I said, well, it's either going to be two answers. It's either going to be one, probably LJ Cry, who was his summer basketball teammate,
Mm-hmm.
who LJ Cry ended up being the all-time leading scorer in the history of Houston basketball with 3,488 points over his career. I thought maybe that would have been the easy way to throw an alley-oop to him, he slam it home for LJ Cry. Or he would have went outside the box. I kind of know a sense, put it like that. Tremont is not an inside the box type of kid. So I gave him an opportunity maybe to go outside the box and say, guess what, Al? He could say, you know what? If it was me, I would have picked my teammate, Marcus Williams, even though he didn't make the final 10 because of the fact that our house rule, we didn't want to pair two kids from the same high school to divide votes down the stretch of the final 10. So that's the reason why Marcus Williams, who was definitely, without question, would be one of the 10 finalists, but no two from the same school. You see? So that's why that ditto for an Eddie Lampkin. If you're wondering why Eddie Lampkin on it was not even a choice. Only one from the same school would make the final 10. Now, that was the reason I did. So his reply was what? How do you remember?
He said, a guy that I ain't never seen play. So I was shocked, Jimmy. My mouth, I just dropped. My mouth just dropped for several reasons. He said Justin Hill. So you got to realize, you would have voted for a guy. Hold on. And I don't know his relationship with none of the kids, okay? Because I don't know Tremont that well. I'm just sitting there saying, the leading scorer in Texas history, Houston history, your teammate, close voting, 1-2 in the rankings, 1-2 in the rankings all year. All of these going to Baylor, and you pick this guy. And I mean, it was just odd to me. See, like somebody asked me, Justin, I love you. I just never seen you play, son. Okay. Somebody asked me who were the 10 guys. And I named all the guys, but I couldn't remember Justin. Somebody asked me that this morning. Robert, oh, okay. She said Justin Hill is like a brother to him. Okay. Well, I understand it. Now that makes sense. Because if you were picking, see, that's why everybody can't pick. You know, like in the NBA, you know, like when the players vote, you remember the players was voting for the Players Award, and the players were voting for JaVale McGee and people like that. Sometimes players just okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I just didn't understand it. And he thought about it, Jimmy. I said, Jimmy, why you asked that question? But then I thought about that was a great question. A probing question. And thank God I was one of the 30 people that was on and I got a chance to hear it. And but man, I'm proud of him. And I'm proud of LJ Cryer too. Because like Jimmy said, it could have went any way. You know, and you know, I text Jimmy, you know, I had to text him. I said, Jimmy, hold up. How close? What? Just give me a yes or no, because I didn't want to put him on the spot. I just said, give me a yes or no. Did the head-to-head matchup in the state championship run, in the regionals, how did that factor in? Or did the back-to-back 40 points, how did that factor in? I was curious because I found out yesterday, Jimmy, that Chronicle, the Houston Chronicle, I think named LJ Cryer as their player of the year.
Okay.
Okay. The Houston Chronicle did. So, it's just sometimes, different voting blocks, different people, but both of those guys had tremendous, no, excuse me, I'm sorry. All 10 of them guys, because guess what? I saw a tweet last night. You got a certain 10th grader that felt like he should have won it. We had a 10th grader that there's no precedence for it, because all seniors have won this, say, hey, I think I should have won. In other words, no. I might not have been won this award, but I think I'm the best player. So it's just, and always remember, this award, Jimmy, from what I looked over the years. This award don't always go to the best player. This award goes to the best. It has intrinsic values. Y'all look at a lot of stuff that goes into how y'all pick. It's not. I've looked over the years. It's not always the best player. So
no, not.
Huh? What?
No, it's not always
okay.
the best player, because you have to understand, when you have a committee of people that are from very various backgrounds,
Gotcha.
and many of which do not have zero logs in the fire for as high school basketball, as far as their day jobs or side jobs, then it different things go in for the eyeball. Different things go into effect, and that's so that's all you can have. Like I said, yeah. But for the most part, it's LJ Cry, Tramon Mark.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. You guys knew that. For as one of the 10 grades, it was only 2 of them. There were Bryce Griggs and PJ Haggerty. Uh-huh. I know PJ. If just say for the sake of
it wasn't PJ. I'm gonna help.
PJ thought he had a realistic chance of winning this award this year, then it should have been eliminated after the reality check when you went head to head with Bryce Griggs. So that means you eliminate. So that's Bryce Griggs.
You out.
If Bryce Griggs felt he had the realistic chance of winning this award, then understand it was blame the power, the blame, what they say, how do you call it?
The act of God.
Yeah, because the season was fragmented. This award is normally granted after the season is over.
Good point.
So who knows? If you could have did 2 things when you went to the state tournament. Mm-hmm. You could have went and captivated everyone and pulled off, especially if Hightower could have beat Lancaster, right, before this award, then you would have definitely, you follow me, didn't win the state tournament, get the MVP, then pie out. Meanwhile, you could also went up there and lay the egg. We've seen people do it before. Not saying it would have happened, but then ditto for Tramon Mark. So Tramon Mark probably was rescued. Well, not probably. You could look at it from a different angle of the room and say he could probably have been rescued by not having to play in the state tournament and not being risking, because who knows? He could have either went up there and continued his dominance, or he could have went up there and laid an egg. We've seen it happen before, right? You know, a la Joe, remember, think about it like this. Carson Edwards didn't necessarily lay an egg, but he didn't lay a golden egg. He didn't when he got to the state tournament. Joey Brooks, when Straight Jesuit went to the state tournament back about a decade or so ago, Joey Brooks goes 4 for 27 from the field, and they still was a 1-possession game down in the 4th quarter. And he was 4 for 27 from the field. Your star. I mean, it's happened before. However, remember Christian Sholin got there committed to Georgia Tech, go to the state tournament, got benched in the championship game. I think he played 19 minutes. So my point is, out of respect to the seniors, those guys, and I think that it came. You asked me, did it come down to the head-to-head? I think for that could easily be used as a tiebreaker. That's how normally. If it come down to this, it's like anybody. Some people gonna use either championships or you're gonna use head-to-head. Yeah. Well, these 2 guys have met twice in the past 2 years. Meaning that LJ Cry versus Tramon Mark. The teams have met 3 times, but them two have met twice because the middle meeting, LJ Cryer did not play. That took place during the Hoops Giving Classic this past November. So this past meet, the last meeting that they had was the money game. When I say money game,
it was an important game. It was an important game.
It was between the loser
not
only go home,
yes,
but your career is over. That's like a double shot. So what happens? And that was in March, last month, right? At the regional semifinals. That's the game before the game to go to state. Dickinson beats Martin Ranch, I think 83-69. Tremont Mark in that game, 40 points. LJ Cryer, 24 points. 40 points in a W in an elimination game. That stated a lot because the game after the game, Tremont Mark continued his blitz, and Dickinson went to state. So it was like he won it. That carried weight because the award is not a career award. It's based on the season. Now, for some voters, that your career goes into the body of work. I understand that. For some, so because there's no debriefing among the voters to say, okay, guys, don't you count this? Don't you count? No, these are grown people. They have a couple of guys from Vipe. I mean, they're watching some games are not, but their eyes and ears to the street. So this is the thing, and so I don't think nobody should be. This is one of those things where, you know what, Tremont, you can see it. Yeah, okay. Would have been great. Think about it. You become the all-time leading scorer in the history of the city, and you don't get it. That stings, yeah. But as you just said, how the Houston Chronicle gave it to LJ, then guess what? That's great. Now both can go and use that on their hoop resume as they proceed. That's a great thing. I spoke with the Baylor coaches this morning. They were cool with it. It wasn't like, oh man, he got robbed. Nobody's, I haven't heard that. At least I haven't heard none of those angles as far as somebody saying that, he got robbed or somebody got robbed. No, this is one of those ones where, guess what? A guy that earned it, not to say nobody else didn't earn it. No, but the guy that won it, you can't really argue with that. So that's how it went on that. So shout out to, I see Michael Smith and Trina Williams Mouton is on the feed right now. Shout out to both of you guys, especially Trina, because it's Women Rock Wednesday, And
Trina on
I
that.
think Trina on that.
I got something for you, Jimmy. Well, guess what? Let me give me my Women Rock Wednesday starting 5. Trina, you're a little late. Tyandra Holmes, Mindy Collins, Sadea Williams, Ashley Jones Williams, and Anissa Veal. But Trina, I'm going to give you Trina, and who else you said, Jimmy, was on that? Trina and
Michael Smith.
Oh, Mike Smith. He don't count. But but Jimmy, I saw something unique the other day. I just want to, I thought about something. I'm just going to pivot, but I want you to come back to where you were. But I meant to talk about this yesterday. The King of Thailand, Jimmy. Y'all can Google it. The King of Thailand. Women Rock Wednesday. Happy Women Rock Wednesday. What's up, Lori? This going to be interesting on Women Rock Wednesday. Jimmy, the King of Thailand, he got ahead of the coronavirus thing. He got ahead of it. What he did, he knew it was coming. So he got the top hotel in Thailand, put everybody out. Wasn't nobody staying in a hotel, quarantined it, and he brought his whole staff, a harem of 20 women. He got 4 or 5 wives. We don't know if the wives were in that 20. And I don't know whether or not his family, his kid, he had any kids with him. That's how he is waiting out the King of Thailand. That's how he is waiting out the coronavirus That's how he's quarantined, Jimmy. He got his staff. Then he got 20 women there to them. And Jimmy, I wonder how much social distancing are they practicing? Or physical distancing are they practicing? It's just somebody sent me a link to it the other day. You can go find it if y'all want some humor in your life. But I found it odd. That's Jimmy. Is that Jimmy? Think about that, Jimmy. I know you. Hey, but he got 3 wives. You ain't got but one. What did Sanders say? Jimmy, okay. I'm gonna allow you 10. I'm gonna be in the 10, and we're gonna all be secluded here. We're gonna be all in this compound together. Yes, Sahara. Hey, Angie, do me a favor. If you think it's just Robert Hatter, Google the King of Thailand and watch what pops up. Y'all can get the whole story. I'm just skimming over it. So what you got, Jimmy? I had to throw something in there. You don't have to throw something crazy in there.
Yeah, man. So also on today, we got so much to talk about. I'm trying to wait. Let's see what time. Yeah, we got 13 minutes, top of the hour. We're going to provide you guys with the season opener team, the roster, the field of teams for the season opener basketball showcase. This is the event that annually tips off the high school season. And I'm telling you, when I call out these teams, you probably will agree. This may be our deepest collection of participants in the history of the season opener. I'm telling you, I think the first season opener may have been in 2008 is the first one we've had. It was at St. Thomas High School. We only had about 3 games. It was a triple header, I think, and it blossomed from there. Went over to the Mural Center over in Katy when they had that was the coming out party for the Harrison twins when they upset Jack Yates with Damian Dotson and those guys. You guys may remember that. A great atmosphere at that, and then next thing you know, we moved it over to the Campbell Center where it has remained for the past few years. But coming up at the top of the hour, it's going to be that. Also, then after the season opener, we're going to get into your thoughts about last night's HBO movie, The Scheme, which recapped the common denominator in the recent federal recruiting trials. Now, also, we got want to give you guys some also transfer news. On the front of the website, rcsports.com, we have a list of the local transfers from D1 schools who went to Greater Houston area high schools. That number is up to 18 right now, right? It's up to 18. After yesterday, Noah Thomason had put his name in the portal.
Okay.
Former George Ranch High School star, led them into the regional tournament, and he was a freshman this year. I think Noah averaged about 10 minutes a game, which is the threshold that you would think it'd be okay for a freshman to come in and average 10 minutes a game. He averaged 4 points a game, on the season. Start to play a lot more toward the end of the season, though, than he did. I can't say that. Probably, who knows? Some coaches decide to play a lot of the freshmen when they realize they are out of contention. Then you start looking forward to next year. Some don't. I don't know what the reason, but he did get a spike in minutes per game. So now Noah is putting his name in the portal. Why do I mention? I mentioned of the 18 names. You can see all of them on the front of rcsports.com. The significance of it is this. Out of 18 players, guess what? 13 of the 18 are either freshmen or sophomores. 13 out of 18 transfers are either sophomores or freshmen. Now, mind you, a lot of these guys is just interesting because out of them 18, all of them guys ain't going to get Division One offers. I say it again. More than three of those will not get Division One, will not be Division One transfers.
Wait a minute. Say that again now. Help me.
Out of those, I said 18 transfers.
18 the ones you got on your list right here.
Yeah, 13 are sophomores or freshmen. Right?
Okay.
I'm saying out of those 13 sophomores and freshmen, that would be at least 2, possibly 3 that will not, or more, will not get a Division One school to transfer to this fall.
Wow.
Meaning that everybody, because that's how the numbers go. Do you know how many last year? How many people that were in the portal who
that's right, didn't get a bite. Yes.
That were approximately 150 last year.
That didn't get a nibble.
They didn't get
a Division One. So they left a Division One, hold up, did they leave a Division One and didn't get nothing, or they left a lower tier and just didn't make it to Division One?
Well, you remember now, the portal is only for Division One players. Yeah. The transfer portal is not including D2s and D3s.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay.
The portal is
so
only
D2, they got their own transfer portal. Okay. so you say so you saying so what you telling me is 150 guys left their teams by choice or by force. Okay? You agree? Because I know some of them get forced out. And 150 of them didn't get a nibble. So what are they doing now? Hey, Jimmy, you know how they had that show, Where Are They Now? Unsung, Unplugged. Where are those guys now?
I mean, they probably HEB hiring.
Sure is. Home Depot too.
So I mean, it just, so you just got to think about it that with so many transfers. Here's the thing. You look back on it. I'm curious. If you reach out, if you know,
why did you bring that up?
Because
did you think? Are you trying to say? So why did you bring that up?
I brought it up. Really, it was no damaging reason.
Okay.
Nothing foul. I brought it up because, like I say all the time, a lot of people are sold. A lot of these kids are sold on Division One or bust.
Right.
Whereas the college experience of going somewhere where you have a very calculated advantage of excelling, is superseded by just everybody just want Division One.
I'm too D1. I remember a dude told me, man, I'm too D1 for these dudes.
And you know what? And I thought about it. It took me back to going shopping. Remember when they was closing down the stores and some malls? I thought about it. I said, you know what? Some people refuse to shop out of Marshalls, but they'll go in Dillard's. A lot of the stuff that Marshall have on the rack is stuff that may have came from stores like Dillard's. But you'll go get it from Dillard's for a higher price. But you don't want to get it from Marshalls or Ross, TJ Maxx, because people are sold. Some people are sold. When you go shopping, you got to go to the Galleria.
But a lot of that stuff that you're getting over there at those other stores are stuff that they didn't buy at that store, and then they send it over there.
Yeah.
You follow me? But Jimmy, I'm going to tell a secret. I saw some one time, I think I was at Marshall's, and I saw an item. I'm not going to tell you what the item was. Not Marshalls. It was not Marshalls. But it was okay. It was Nordstrom Rack. I saw an item in Nordstrom Rack, but just so happened that day I was in the actual Nordstrom across the street. Jimmy, they had the same item over there across the street in the Galleria for full price, and they had a fraction of the same item over here. And I said, how does that happen? Because it didn't come from that store. It came from another region around the country that particular item wasn't popular, and they sent it away because they wasn't selling it. It didn't come from the actual store across the street. Because I'm just thinking, shit, it's right across the street from each other. And I said, wow. Then I asked, I said, wait a minute. They said, but this particular shoe came from Jimmy. I mean, when you and I was in Vegas, I had looked for them sneakers everywhere. They was too expensive, and I said, I'm not gonna buy these things in Nordstrom. I said, no, I'm not gonna pay that much money for those sneakers. Jimmy, me and you went there, and I got them for nothing.
In Vegas,
right?
Right?
It was in Vegas.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute. That same shoe in Houston a few weeks ago was a lot of money, $600. And you can get the same shoe in Vegas for $100. I said, oh my goodness. This how much the shoe worth anyway. But no, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Jimmy, but so that analogy you was using, you was trying to use an analogy about these guys, they leaving universities like, I guess say, because you mentioned the young Thomason. What if you saying it might be a great chance that what if another team don't pick him up?
Then he, being a freshman, would have the option to go to junior college. Okay. Now, whether you do that or not, that's the upside to a freshman who's transferring from the Division I level.
Okay.
You can go down to JUCO. Okay. Now the thing is this: a lot of the freshmen, a lot of the transfers, period, are being led or under the impression that the NCAA could very well possibly relax the transfer rules, which will enable most of your transfers to
play immediately,
to not sit out a year.
Yeah.
That's what many are led to believe. But still, you have to have a taker. I just don't subscribe to the concept of leaving a free education on the table if you don't have a guaranteed one somewhere else to hop on to. At least one option. That's the part I just don't.
But Jimmy, how can you have that option and other schools are not supposed to be tampering with you?
Not supposed to. But then that's when, see how this game goes, that's when the person of influence normally put feelers out there. Because most of these people aren't just transferring on their own.
Okay.
Somebody has planted a seed.
Somebody planted a seed. Okay.
In other words, think about it like this. We had a kid who transferred last year from out of Houston, Westfield High School.
Darius McNeil.
Darius McNeil went to Cal.
Was playing 31 minutes a game.
He started for 2 years straight at Cal. I don't know if he didn't start a game at Cal. You think about Quentin Grimes starting every game at Kansas. This boy started every game at Cal in the Pac-12. Left Cal, went to SMU. Now, understand, he had to sit out a year. The transfer waiver was denied. So he will be playing this year, right? Next year, come next season. But the thing is,
I got a question, Jim.
What's that?
Kenny Gamble, Noah has 2 D1 offers since last night. Also has 6 JUCO offers. So Kenny Gamble, you knowing all of that. So Jimmy, it must be a handler involved.
I didn't say that Noah would be one of those.
No, you didn't say that. But I mean, this is what we talking about. You mentioned his name first, and we got on this subject. So some people might. I know you didn't. I understand. seemed like Chris Gamble know about that situation because he look how quick he gave that information out. So maybe he was a part of that process. Oh, that's right. He played with he played with that program.
Remember what I just said? I said a person of influence is going to already have a feeler out there already.
Hey, bango, Jimmy. I'm gonna put bango on the screen now.
And that's the truth of it. So people don't understand. It's kind of like one of those things where a college coach isn't supposed to contact a freshman, right? But that freshman can contact that college coach, or somebody that college coach has a relationship with can contact that freshman and let that freshman know, hey, look, call coach at 6 o'clock. He want to hear from you. That's how the game goes. And a lot of people know the game, a lot of people don't. So a lot of people who the coaches won't never contact, guess what? You just might, if you're good enough, those coaches gonna find a way, a loophole around the rule, not break the rule necessarily, but a loophole of the integrity factor of the rule, and gonna go and circumvent it. Not necessarily, like I say, not violate, but circumvent what appears to be the rule. Meaning that I can't call you, but I'm gonna get somebody to tell you to call me.
I got a question. He said, no, a person of influence. So so you want King Gamble, his mom is his person of influence. So his mom was at, okay, all right. But let's go past that one. Derek Daniels got a question, Jimmy. He said, my question is, if you were at a lower end D1 school, why would you leave? And where would you go? Who did you leave a HBO? Who don't leave a HBU and transfer? No, excuse me. You don't leave an HBU and transfer to Duke. Be still and be patient, and furthermore, be honest with yourself and your level you really belong on.
Well, I mean, I don't really subscribe to that. I mean, everybody each his own. There's various reasons why people transfer. Right. But the fact of the matter is, you're still accounted amongst the numbers. You're in the portal. So for whatever reason may be, we don't know.
Something might happen over there. We don't know. Jimmy, something could have happened. Something could have happened. Something could have happened that he wasn't happy with. Something could have happened.
Well, that's obvious when you're transferring for most part from your end. If it's self-inflicted of the transfer, then there's other people who are pushed out. I'm just saying, and some people, you got to realize, it's the thing about what you're wishing for. And there are some out there that out there playing right now that may not have any offers. Their wish is to play Division I basketball. So now on the playing devil's advocate, I would say, okay, be careful what you wish for.
Okay.
Do you want a good experience where you could play and your mom or dad can come and see you play and they traveling and they're happy because you're sweating after every game? Or do you want to come to see you do some layups before the game?
Who is Chris at HBU? He said something about things changed when Chris left. Who is Chris? Kenneth Gamble. I don't know who Chris is. You said things changed. Well, so I guess that's why. So things changed when Chris left. I guess that's when Noah wanted to leave. I don't know who Chris is. I
mean, everybody got their reasons. It's like I said, it's it varies. That's not the issue. The point is you're transferring. What's the everybody's plan does not go as you scripted. So it wasn't about, now we're talking specifically about this particular young man because Derek Daniels posed the question about HBU. But at first, I was talking in general. Definitely was not.
I know you were.
Hammering in on him. I was hammering in because the list was increasing and closing in on 20 names. And 20 names is the amount of transfers that would definitely supersede a year ago. We already in territory that's more than we had a year ago, or the past couple of years for us transfers. So, and I'm thinking there's going to be a couple of more who hadn't put their name in the portal yet. That's going to do so. Some people just wait until they get their grades because some families or some may be under the assumption that if they announce it, then the teachers might put the squeeze on them in some certain class. They want to get those grades posted first. Then for some people, but in this young man, we mentioned most people that transfer do not transfer up, meaning up in schools with higher budgets. Most do not.
I saw that statistic somewhere.
Most do not. That don't mean that you can't.
Right.
That just means, like, of course, it's obvious, as Derek said, you don't go from the Southland to Duke. Yeah, duh, you obviously. At the same time, most don't even make lateral.
Okay.
That's why I think about it. Do you think I'm joking? Won't you guys take out the time? And I gave you guys the numbers back when TSU played Prairie View back in January. Remember, I came back with the program, Hatter, and I calculated the amount of players on the combined rosters of TSU and Prairie View men's basketball team who finished first place and I think third place respectively in the SWAC, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had combined for transfers was like 20 players.
Who that, Jimmy?
TSU and Prairie View. Remember I told you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was.
And all of those players that transferred, think about it, that's TSU. So what's lateral to TSU, to the SWAC? What conference is lateral to the SWAC? What, the MEAC? What's lateral to the SWAC? Southland? Yeah, if you put a head-to-head, it'll be tight. I think the SWAC might, but okay. Southland might win because their 4 through 8 is going to be better than the SWAC's 4 through 8.
Oh, the bottom. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Okay. So that way, I think the Southland will probably win.
Okay.
But that would be a hell of a matchup if they did a Southland SWAC showdown. My point is, if you're transferring most of those transfers on TSU roster, you're gonna see Nevada. You're gonna see schools that are in the Power 7. A lot of those transfers.
Hey,
think about it.
You see what Ricky Scott said? And we'll try. I put it on the screen for you. He said, since you have a captive audience, can you get a former Greater Houston area player who has recently went through the portal to give their experience with it? We'll try. If a kid want to share that.
We can do that. Send us a reminder, Ricky Scott. Send us an email. Yeah. chopshophtx@gmail.com to remind me. And I definitely can give one of those young guys now, since they're at home relaxing as well. Most of them are idle. So remind me to do so, and we'll get one of those young people who went through the portal to share their experience.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Hopefully I would probably, because the portal has only been in effect for 4 years, something like that, 3-4 years.
About 3, I think.
So I'm going to try to get one that's no longer has eligibility. That way it doesn't nothing come to backfire.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah.
So, but this is, I'm brought this up so that collectively you can share your thoughts and we can possibly learn something.
Look what Kenny Gamble just said, Jimmy.
What's that?
He said, because I was just telling him, he said, watch their habits in AAU basketball and they go to 3 or 4 teams. But then I just gave him a comment. I said, but you don't sign a letter of intent or with an AAU team, so it's easy to move around. I don't listen to me. I don't fault a kid moving from AAU teams. I'm just telling you that right now. I don't fault them kids for that because it's too much crazy stuff going on in them AAU teams, in them AAU programs. I do not blame a kid. I'm going to repeat that. Robert Hatter do not blame a kid for doing that. But Kenneth, he said, but they developed a behavior. He said he had a kid tell him he couldn't see himself playing at one college. To date, he has had 3 different schools. I mean, and I understand that. Some people have committal problems. Some people can stay with the same. Some people, I ain't with the same woman I met a long time ago. I mean, stuff happens. Stuff change. So it's just a unique dynamic. But me personally, I never fought a kid from changing AAU teams. Oh no. Oh, I promise you, it's some kids need to leave some teams that's not leaving them. So I don't hold that against them. But when they go to this university and sign a letter of intent and go through all of this stuff, I'm blessed that Jimmy, what you said, I'm blessed to receive this offer from so and so, and I'm gonna go in there and work real hard. And then you change that, and then you change that, and then you change that. 3 different colleges, that's different. AAU teams, I promise you, I give those kids and their parents a mulligan because some of these teams it ain't worth it, baby. So,
yeah. So absolutely. So that's our topic on transfer. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully you guys you go and just do your homework.
Yes.
And if you are one of the people of influence with these young guys, understand for all of these transfers, they are vying for the very same slots that unsigned seniors and JUCO transfers to be are seeking. They are seeking the same scholarship. They have no designation on it to say freshman, sophomore, junior. They don't care. It's a spot. So now you guys got to be smart. When you got them offers, them offers can be there today and be gone tomorrow.
I just saw one.
I mean, you think I'm joking? Like I'm looking on the list, Adam. Let's take a kid like Nigel Hawkins.
Okay.
Right? Oh no, let's take Morris Udeze.
We just saw Morris.
Him. Wichita State played U of H in conference play. He didn't play it. He didn't get that whole lot of burn. He played a little bit, but
I don't know.
Morris is a hot commodity.
Why?
Right? Because he's 6'8" frame, that's experience.
Yeah. Okay, that's all you had to do it tell
me. And he has two years of eligibility.
Okay.
So Morris is a hot commodity as a body.
Okay.
Well, let's say if you are unsigned senior and there's a D1 coach that's on you that may have offered you yesterday, and you're 6'8", or you are in that range, you're a forward. I'm sorry. Let's say that coach offers you and you playing around with it. Let's say if Robert Haller was to call that same coach and say, Coach, what you looking for? Man, we need a big man for this class coming in. And let's say he's a person of influence with Morris Udeze.
Right.
And he say, Coach, I got one. You made my guy. I'm going to put one on your plate. Morris Udeze. And the coach go clicking. He looking him up. Oh, I remember him. I like him. Can we get him, Coach? If you offer, he ready to commit now. What you think gonna happen if that coach offers and that kid commits? What you think gonna happen to your scholarship offer? They just offered you yesterday? Ain't gonna happen.
It's gone like a turkey through the cone.
You know. And so that's the thing. So we got another mention on there. Say parents sometimes create narcissists. Early on, it's all about the kid. Every coach along the way has issues or is the issue early on. But at some point, it's enough. Now here comes the transfer.
So
it's a good post. Good post.
And now I understand what you're saying, Gamble. It's the environment. Listen. I understand kids shouldn't just move. I believe you me. But these AAU programs, some of the ones that I know of, man, get the hell out of there. Dude, you come on. Sometimes, man, your next move might be your best move. You follow me? So it's not that I just know it's some programs out there. You know, we got daddy ball. So I should stay on a team and the dude letting his son shoot all the balls. And they tell me to swing it. Jimmy, every time my son get the ball, swing it. Swing it to my son, to the coach's son. Man, get your hell out. Get off that team. And guess what? I know some parents talking about a lot of daddy ball going on around here now in basketball back again. Well, I guess it's going to always be back. I know some kids are not playing in certain programs right now because the dad is running the teams. So it's a lot of variables go along in that. So we just can't always put it on the kids. Sometimes these teams, hey, come on, Gamble. You know some of these teams, man, we got to pray for them. What else you got, Jimmy?
Yeah.
You got another?
And of course, Kerry said, Jimmy Haller told us earlier this year, when you visit these schools, don't just talk to the coach and their star players. Talk to that 11th and 12th player on that bench.
Hello, bango.
And most people don't do that. It's just that simple. Most won't do it. You know why? Because most people think it's just like dealing with COVID-19. It can't happen to me. Most people think that. It ain't gonna happen to me. That's their problem. That dude can't play.
I'm laughing, Jimmy. Jimmy. I promise you. Yeah. And sometimes, man, we just got to get it at your school. These people like you. Now, if these people mistreating you, emotional duress, or like the stuff they said, mental torture, like they said Billy Gillispie was doing to these kids. Hey, man, get out of there. Get out of there. I'm not telling you to stay around and nobody's abusing you. Get the heck out of there. I don't care what program it is. But if you can stand, if you can stand, I tell you, Jimmy, the reason I'm saying this, Jimmy, we were faced with that decision. We were faced in Roberts going into his senior year. I tell this story all the time. His coach got fired. The African-American coach who impressed me enough to send my son 1,700 miles away, he got fired and was placed by a white coach who was one of our rivals. He was the assistant coach for Princeton. I know how crazy my son is on the basketball court. I know how he tortured Princeton and talked crazy to them. That coach came and coached my son his senior year. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that just in case the people did not hear it in the back. These people hired a coach from our rival. Soon as he came on the campus, him and Robert clashed. Because Robert antagonized Princeton every year for 3 years. And this coach was the assistant coach. And now he coming and he coming and now coaching him in his last year. Of course, my son said, Dad. And I said, heck no. I said, guess what, son? We didn't come up here to play basketball no way. And it could have been an easy thing. It was easy breezy with us, Jimmy. All he had to do is hold up. He don't have to withdraw from school. All he had to do is just not be a part of the team, finish the school out, graduate, and go to Cal or Notre Dame. Jimmy, guess what? Guess what the Final Four was that particular year? Here in Houston. So people of influence, his dad, talked to some people. But guess what I did? I went home, I prayed about it. I said, man, you just got to stick with this one, man. I'd rather you leave this school in good standing with the AD and the president and the people at Cornell than you do this. Play like you hurt, fake an injury and say you can't play that year. And you just go academically and you a grad transfer, you can go play the next year immediately. We thought about it. He wanted to do it. I just said, no, we didn't come up here to play basketball, son. We came up here to get this education. But the problem is everybody don't think that way. Everybody think they want to go to the league and everybody want to go to and I understand that, parents. But I'm just telling you, it's not like I'm up on some loft. I was faced with that decision. He wanted to go. I said, no, son, no. And that's how, it's not happening. Not happening. Not on my watch. Took too much time and energy and resources to get you here? No, it's not happening. So, Jimmy, I know people been talking. I just had to share
Oh
that.
man, absolutely. And
What you got? What was interesting? You know, I don't look at the thing.
Ashley and Clarence, you know, that was a pretty good combo going. And Clarence said you can't measure that as the circumstance change, your approach has to change. And we're talking about the transfers, and because Ashley mentioned the kids play on 4 different summer teams, or you know, transfer in high school multiple times. Comes their trend. And so and one of the things is you get signs. If some people pay attention and some people don't. If a person is prone to leave, dim, and I always say when people transfer, and I always say this I used to say it all the time to a lot of the parents. If you don't have a legitimate reason to leave, then why?
Why?
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we be surprised what some of the real reasons are. And some is just because most parents aren't in practice. And a lot of times there's a kid you could be going and that other kid is just whooping your ass in practice.
Every day.
But you're as in the facet of getting your butt whooped or getting outperformed during the practice or the workout sessions, the coach may make you do something extra, but you'll bring that part back to your parents.
Bingo.
And explaining them that coach is tripping.
Yes.
Because he made you do this. Not telling them the why. You're telling them the what. And this is part of the thing. So as a parent, when they come to the game, parents are counting every single stat that is that's not even identified by the natural score sheet. Every stat that you thinking about, that's the stats that parents ain't studying about them, except for minutes per game. They think every other stat. How many times this other kid turned the ball over before the coach take him out?
Yes.
How many times the other kid get the ball and don't pass it to my son? Trust me, if you want to know the acute analytics of a team, get 3-4 of those parents of the 7th, 8th, 9th guy on the team, and they will tell you collectively what the hell is happening, what ain't happening on every one of those teams out there. That's the truth.
Jimmy, that's so real what you just said. Jimmy, parents, Jimmy, you gave it to me. One of the worst things you can tell a coach, he turned the ball over and you left him. Don't ever, listen, parents, don't ever tell no coach that about what another player did. I'm helping you. Remember, hey, y'all, Jimmy, I might put this one on social media. Parents, don't you ever tell a college coach he made a mistake. He shot the ball and you didn't take him out. That's trouble. It's trouble for your son.
So that was a good combo, man.
Yeah, that's great. That was great.
And great, you guys. Thank all of the dialogue in it, of course. And Jakarta, we got one more. Jakarta says college basketball is different. You can't be 19 years old expecting to play in front of 23-year-old fifth-year seniors. Bingo. I've said that several times.
A million times. Yeah.
And a lot of people and what happens is a lot of parents and people of influence, because you guys have the power to collectively let the persons know or to bring them back down to earth and say, look, man, it happens in football. How many freshmen go to D1 colleges and play in football?
They play immediately? That's very smart. Very.
So if it's so accepted in football, and that's the norm, you know why? Because level of expectations are lowered for them to understand. Listen, you get here, you got to get your body right. Hell, so basketball don't lift weights?
Yeah.
Basketball ain't doing strength and conditioning?
Mm-hmm.
You got to get your diet right. You got to get all your. We want to get you right. So, okay, football, same thing. So how many strings are there in football? What? First string, second string.
Third, and fourth. No, you talking about the depth chart. It goes to 4 in high school. I mean, in college, it goes up to 4. Jimmy, it's 100 and some guys on the sideline. But
That fourth is a red shirt.
yeah, but guess what? Can't but 80 something travel.
So that means how many of the traveling are on the depth chart?
Yeah, about
First, second string.
Yeah, about
maybe
they're gonna have a third. They're gonna have a third.
Maybe a third.
Yeah.
You see,
That's a good point.
But
Football is a different sport too, Jimmy, because those guys are more. They can kill them little old freshmen, dude.
I understand that, but the logic is still. Guess what? If you were still a little bitty freshman and your butt wanted to play, there's some schools you can go to and still can get to play.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Good point.
You might can't play at Alabama, but your butt might can play at Mississippi Valley.
Yeah, you're right about that.
If you wanted to play, but the logic is go here, wait your turn. That's the selling point is for a lot of the people of influence are telling the kids. So that means okay. It ain't no embarrassment. We think about it. In H-Town, Jalen Waddle, he went to Alabama a couple of years ago from Episcopal High School. Jalen Waddle wasn't in the starting lineup on the wide receivers. They played him on the special teams, right? Yeah. He made special teams. Okay, that's where he made his knack. Then this year he got inserted on into the wide receiver, and he did twofold, played both ways. But there was no embarrassment. There was nobody considering, man, he went to the wrong school. Why he doing that? He ain't playing. No.
No, that's Alabama, Jimmy.
You knew time was going to come because that's the sale.
In Alabama, Jimmy, they tell you. They ain't trying to sell you. You coming in here, you got some pros in front of you, homeboy. We had a kid from here went to Alabama, and then he wound up. He ended up at Ohio State, but he still made it to the league. But he didn't like that. Jimmy, you ain't checked my hat out. You ain't checked my hat. Jim, look at that presidential shield there, Jim. Jim, look at that date. Look at that date, Jim. January what? Hold on. January what? 21, 2013. Dun, 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 dun.
I thought I saw some DT initials on that thing. I was about to say, man, I'm about to go.
Nah, that's B-Rock Obama. Inauguration, baby.
So, anyway, guys, as promised, we provide you guys now with our first welcome to a lot of the high school coaches who join on the feed right now. A lot of you guys may be first time, hadn't saw us in a while. This is the Chop Shop. We're here Monday through Thursday, streaming live on YouTube as well as Facebook. Shout out to y'all. If you're a high school coach, just type on in and let us know so people can see you. And guess what it does? Believe it or not, your street cred goes up. Your appreciation warmth goes up. I saw Greg Wise on the feed a while ago from Yates High School.
That's my man.
I saw Charlie Jones on there used to be George Ranch. Ironically, we were just talking about one of his players. Didn't realize it. And now he's at the new Katy Jordan High School.
That's probably why he came on. Somebody called and told him.
I think he came on before then.
Jimmy, you came on. Okay.
Now what we're gonna do now is
want to talk about
the high school basketball season. Because it could be resumed.
Yes.
But talking about next season, that is, will normally starts around the second Saturday of November. Well, on that date, we held the season opener basketball showcase. Well, the season opener is a 1 day of about 7 to 8 games. And great atmosphere because everybody's hungry. And I'm pretty certain that by the time this next season starts, we're going to be starving for some hoops. So because of so many uncertainties and so many players who may have been deprived of opportunities to play in front of Division I coaches during the spring, right? And playing on sneaker circuits that's been fragmented and possibly shut down. Not know yet. So that means it's going to transition. The shift goes back to the high school teams. The power goes, in some cases, could possibly yield back to the high school coaches. If nothing more, just for 1 year, it could be the start of something anew. Remember, the NCAA gave those high school coaches 2 weekends in June. It's not going to happen this year, or it's not likely to happen this year, but that will possibly resume in 2021. So without further ado, we have the teams for the season opener, which will take place Saturday, November the 14th at the Aldine ISD M.O. Campbell Center. And I'll give you these teams in alphabetical order, and also Heather's going to pop up a graphic so that you can read right through them. And because some of you guys are very good at speed reading. So now, in alphabetical order, this is, once again, I'm claiming this as the best field of teams that we've ever had at the season opener. I'll start off with Aldine Davis. Aldine Davis, we got Atascocita, Beaumont United, Concordia Lutheran, Crosby, Fulshear, Hightower, Houston Christian, Manville, St. Thomas, Sharpstown, Shadow Creek, Summer Creek, Westbury Christian, Westfield, and Yates. That's 16 teams. And what I'm going to invite you guys to do is you can go and send an email for some of the matchups that you would like to see. I promise you that I'm going to consider every one of your suggestions. Send your matchups that you want to see, because guess what? After all, this stuff is for you guys. These matchups are for you to come and see.
Jimmy, I'm looking at the teams. Jim, I'm looking at the teams. Aldine Davis, they got a dude.
Yeah, Aldine Davis had a lot, had a couple coming.
No. I'm talking about a dude. I ain't talking about.
No. Well, Aldine Davis.
Okay.
Is the home team.
Gotcha.
You got to put an Aldine team. But Aldine Davis got enough coming back.
Okay, Atascocita got a dude.
Atascocita started all underclassmen except for one guy.
But I'm talking about a dude. I'm talking about a dude. I know they got a dude.
They got Cameron Stewart, and they got Cameron Morrison. Atascocita's solid.
Beaumont United, do they have a dude?
Yeah, they got the young kid, the sophomore coming.
Oh, back. yes, he good. Okay. Yeah. Corden Luther, do they have a dude?
R.J. Keene, and then they got the 7-footer.
Okay. Crosby got a dude. Fulshear got a dude. Well, I ain't worried about Hightower. Houston Christian got a dude.
Yeah, they got Noah Kahn, and they got the other little fella. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just. Manville got a dude.
You got Sean. You got Big Sean.
Okay.
Sean Walker.
St. Thomas. St. Thomas got my young fella. It got my he gonna kill me.
Yeah, what's the kid name? Last name start with an M over at St. Thomas.
He gonna kill me. I love it.
Killing me. They got, of course, Maddox Kopp is the quarterback.
I ain't talking about, man. He gonna kill me.
Massey.
Yes.
Massey. Jonathan Massey.
Massey. Jonathan. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Man, I'm getting old, Jonathan. Okay, Sharpstown. Yeah, Sharpstown got a dude. Shadow Creek got a couple of dudes.
Yeah.
Summer Creek got a couple of dudes. Westbury Christian got one dude.
Westbury Christian got two.
They got two dudes. Westfield. I don't know about Westfield.
Westfield got Big Willie Williams.
And guess what? Yates got Greg Wise, baby. That's all I need to hear. Yates got Greg Wise. I know we gonna have.
You got two. Big Chooks come back.
Yeah. But hey, Chooks can come back. Juke can come back, and if I'm coaching that team, we might lose. Greg Wise going to take him to the championship. So it's a big difference.
Your homeboy may be the starting point guard, the Johnny Carswell.
Oh, that's right. He ain't done nothing yet. He ain't done nothing yet now.
No, I understand he ain't done nothing yet, but definitely, guess what? Because he was not ruled eligible this year, but who knows? He's been there going. Guess who he had to think about this? A little kid like him had to go every day against Antoine Norman, Elijah Elliott, Reuben Jones.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Latrell Moore.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
All those cats. He had to go against these guys every day.
Jimmy, that's a nice lineup there, Jimmy.
This thing, understand something. Once again, send me an email to you send to the chopshophtx@gmail.com. chopshophtx@gmail.com. Let me know who you want to see in that season opener. And Alan, we got Grady Dale from Dallas just popped up. Show him the lineup again. Pop him up there.
Grady, hold up, Grady. I got something for you, baby. I got something for you, Grady.
We just released the field of teams for the 2020 RCS Sports season opener. Of course, it's going to be powered again by a Boost Mobile. There we go. There you go, Grady.
Come on, Grady. I got you, Grady.
This right here would be awesome, since there's a chance that this would. Come on down to H-Town, Grady. I can get you one of them games. You want to referee one of them games, Grady? Come on down there and referee an H-Town game. That's what you do. Let me know. I call my referee, make sure he plug you in, and you get one of those.
Wait a minute. What Grady at? What Grady live?
In Dallas.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
He's one of the. Grady is of course, I'm talking about in his refereeing career. He's widely known across the state of Texas and have refereed the state championships.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hold on. He's probably the only one has done it in football and basketball.
Yeah, I heard about him. Yes. I met somebody showed him to me. Yeah.
If you want to referee one of the games down at H-Town, let me know. That way I get you your hotel.
Hey, hold up now, Jimmy, watch it now. Grady, we love you. But Jimmy, make sure you take care of Michael Jordan too now. He got it.
Oh, he live in Houston.
Yeah, but you know how Jimmy, you know how they get a little sensitive. If you live in Houston, you get a little sensitive. Come on now, you get sensitive anytime. Hey y'all, do y'all notice in the last few months I ain't never mentioned nothing about Dallas no more? Because every time I mention anything about Dallas, Jimmy go off. But he likes Grady Dale. So Grady, you need to be on here all the time, because it's the first time we mentioned Dallas, he used now he loves Grady. Grady gonna get you a room. Grady, he ain't never told nobody that. You ain't never told nobody you gonna get him a room.
I done got so many hotel rooms from guys in Dallas.
No. You ain't never told him on this show when I was here. You might have got him, but you ain't never told no ref. I ain't never heard you tell a ref, come on down, I got your room. Grady in the Hall of Fame. Grady the man.
Well, he earned that right.
That's Grady. You must be Fred Sanford then.
Look at that. Stephen Wood said Grady can call any of my games.
Hey, Stephen Wood, I know two people you better not never let call your games no more. I'll tell you later. But keep going. Keep Michael Jordan. I like the way Michael Jordan, you all right, as long as you don't call no too quick fouls on you know who. So I'm good. Jimmy, hey, Jimmy, let me tell you something. When I found out you can use your influence, I didn't know no refs when my son was playing. They was just giving him the shaft, Grady. I mean, he get two quick fouls so fast. He look over there at me. I say, you the one did it? He got one ref that gave him two quick fouls if I walk in, no matter what. Jimmy know who it is. They give it, hey, hold up, especially if they play Bel Air. But thank you, Grady. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Grady.
So some of these guys, some of these people are starting to post their thoughts for matchups.
Okay, I saw a couple of them.
Live in the Boom Boom Room. And Alfio says he wants to see Jack Yates versus Shadow Creek. And Killer Lawton say he wants to see Yates versus Hightower. Right?
Me too. Hey, I like to see Wise versus Wood, the two W's.
Wells say he would like to see Concordia Lutheran versus Hightower.
No, he don't want none of them problems.
And it comes right on cue. Here comes Walter Yates.
Oh, I can't. Oh.
Half of you AAU dudes never even played the game on the college level yet. Want to try to run something that has to do with college recruiting. Can't stand you snake ass dude.
Why did you come? What y'all did to Walter Yates? You know what, Jimmy? Have you noticed Walter Yates hadn't came on all week? He love to come on here Wednesday and mess with these women, man. He love it.
And let me know some of the matchups that you guys would like to see. And guess what? The majority, of course, no, I can't, everybody One person might want Yates play. Whoever the majority of the requests, then I'm gonna give the people what they want. I'm telling you.
Get the people what. I ain't got that. I don't have that in my. Jimmy, hold up, Jimmy.
Guess what?
Jimmy.
Somebody has a reply.
Jim, hold on, Jim. Hold on. Hold them replies. Look at a couple of more. We got to go look. We got to do a little commercial right quick.
Above all sports hoops is where the action's at. Houston Classic, Summer Prep Show, June Jam, HNSS, Summer Finale. Make sure you register today.
We're back, Jimmy. Jimmy, what you got before we get into something else? What you got? Did you find a couple of more comments? A couple of more matchups you want to talk about?
Well, I see. Alfio. Alfio, you gave 2 or 3 different options.
I don't want to see Crosby and Hightower no more. I don't never want to see that no more. I don't want to see that massacre no more. Jim, I don't never want to see that. Crosby got to level up first before they come down there. Let's get Crosby with somebody else, Alfio. No. They got ran out the gym. They made Hightower made John Uri do this. John Uri ain't never did that. Shut his mouth. So no, I don't want to see that one. Yeah.
Crosby will beat Yates next year. That early in the season.
Yates?
Remember, they'll beat Yates that early in the season. Yeah. If everybody came back, nobody transferred from Crosby. Remember, they had only one senior on the team. I think 1 or 2.
So you telling me they got 10 players that can run up down the court?
Who?
Crosby. They got 10 players because it's gonna take more. You're gonna either have to have some Kate Cunninghams on your team or something like that, or you got to have 10 players that can play and rested to beat that team Yates. I don't care what Yates team that is. That man right there, Greg Wright, ain't gonna let no 1, 2 players beat him. Just tell him. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
You see what Ashley just said herself?
I don't care how rebuilding they are.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just telling you now. Just because
so Chooks ain't gonna be there next year, right?
Huh?
So Chooks gone?
No, he's not gone.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to understand what Yates had this year was the best quartet of guards that they've had in 8 years.
Well, match it up then, mister.
No, it's too early. I don't do the matchup now. I'm just letting you know as far as discounting and flushing a particular suggestion down the toilet so fast. It's hold tight.
Hold up. You can have your opinion all you want. I'm telling you what I know. I ain't telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I feel. Y'all talking about next year. We don't know what's gonna happen next year.
Well, we're talking about next season. That's what we're talking about next year.
But I'm saying we don't know just cause of what a person. Well, he got this person coming back, and they got not all the time now.
Adam, most of the time, if you see it, the dots are there. It's like Dickinson High School. We saw what they had coming back from last year. We knew that Marcus Williams did not play any varsity last year and was averaging about 40 points a game on JV.
Who on that team Crosby like Marcus Williams?
Huh?
Who on that Crosby's team like Marcus Williams?
But you don't have to.
Give me a comparison. Just give me a comparison. Marcus Williams is
PJ Haggerty is like a Marcus Williams, a scorer. Shoot a shot and it goes in. Guess what? You don't have to be better than Bryce Greaves to be a pretty damn good good scorer.
Nobody said nothing about that. We talking. Why you break? I said you compared PJ Haggerty to Marcus Williams
as a 10th grader. You're talking about output per minute. It's production. Yes. Not talking about the two players, talking about their productivity, not who's better. Is he better than Marcus Williams? Hell no. We talking about what his numbers on as far as that he's produced per out on the court. Marcus Williams takes a lot of shots. PJ Hack takes a lot of shots. They miss a lot of shots. They hit a few of them too,
though. Okay, what's the next topic? What else we got?
And so, as I said, Lamar's not in there, Herb. Herb. Lamar and Westbury Christian. Lamar's not in.
Herb, you can't just be putting your own people in there, Herb. Let me put the list back up, Jim. Hold on. Maybe.
Now,
hold on. Let me put the list back up there. Because maybe Herb just missed the list. In his defense, he just might have missed the list. It's all right. I got it for him. I don't think Lamar's on that list. And Jimmy, this list is
I sent and understand invite for Lamar or out. There is out for the Hughes Giving Classic and the Christmas crossover. Westbury Christian is there, so they can get Lamar if as long as they're not playing on their regular season schedule, they can get them. All you gotta do is all the coach gotta do is reply to the email. If not, then guess what? I have documented paper trail for all the parents that want to know why my team ain't in there. I keep all receipts. So let's move on. Thanks, guys. Of course, on that combo we just missed, we had a great dialogue. We released the teams for the season opener. Before then, we had a great convo about D1 transfers. Now it's time to get right into the conversation. Remember, we started 15 minutes late, so we'll go to a quarter past the hour. And now, who saw the documentary last night? The Scheme. And The Scheme was it featured it chronicled, gave afterthoughts from Christian Dawkins, and he was the young man who was convicted twice, two different trials, as a result of his involvement with the college coaches / the sneaker companies / the prospects and / agents / investors, financial investors / FBI. So his involvement with all of those. Who saw that movie last night? And for a lot of people, a lot of the things were new, and for a lot of people, a lot of the things was like day old donut. It just happened. It got an opportunity to fill the gaps or fill some gaps. Well, one of the things that you guys understand, and I'm glad that the movie had an opportunity to serve, and it basically it wasn't set out to be a Christian Dawkins expose. The compiler of the movie reached out to various college coaches, to the FBI, to the NCAA, and not knowing at the time, that you had already got approved and started going through production, they declined to comment. So now you're left with more footage you have to go and stretch from your interviews with that young man. This young man got convicted. He had an 18-month sentence. He had both trials on appeal. He's yet to serve his time yet while he's out on appeal. Meanwhile, it ends with him being informing everybody that, hell, before the trial was over, he had already latched on a deal to get his own record label with Atlantic Records, which is one of the largest companies in the world for in music and entertainment. So that helps you understand how the plugs for this movie was probably anchored from the Atlantic Records or somebody within that realm or that's up under that umbrella. Well, the thing that stuck out to me is in that movie is that I was surprised about during the trial, I knew, and I think I shared with you guys. I know I shared with you guys about a year or so ago, a couple of years back in 2017 when the first trial started. I knew that the defenses had subpoenaed various members of the NCAA, as well as college coaches. And the judge denied all of their requests. That was the part that didn't smell right with me then. It was confirmed, I believe the person who told me, obviously, but it was confirmed, of course, watching the documentary. That was just really because of the fact that they made us believe that this was going to be a net in the water that was going to catch all of the big fish. You were going to catch orca, the killer whale, with this net. You were going to bring college basketball, the underbelly of it, to his knees. You said you got their playbook. And this is the only guy that you hit upside the head, with a good lick, was Christian Dawkins, primarily. Of course, Maura Cole got convicted twice as well. But I'm just saying, so think about it. This means that the federal government wanted you guys to believe that a 20-something-year-old young man was responsible for all of the corruption that's going on in men's basketball at the NCAA Division I level. Come on, man. Another thing is that the guy, which I did not realize, now I did not know that this part, and I'm about to share. The FBI agent who was the lead investigator on this case, his stage name was Jeff D'Angelo. Jeff D'Angelo disappeared shortly after July 2017, disappeared, was accused in the trial of mishandling funds, was seen at the crap table. They got several other cameras showing him gambling down there and throwing away some of that Las Vegas money that's supposed to have been going for his investigation, and he disappeared. But they would not allow him to come and testify after being subpoenaed in trial. By law, you're supposed to have the right to confront your accuser. That's by law. That's the thing. It is so. And then another degree of it is a lot of black folk. We all probably know somebody that have been went to trial, got what they called railroaded, set up, and it angers you, especially when you see two different Power 5 head college coaches. We hear the videotapes. We heard about them. I heard about them. You heard about them. You knew that LSU coach was on tape. You knew Arizona coach was on tape. We didn't get to hear him until last night. And up on him, and they might have leaked out a splash or two a couple of years ago. But when you heard that last night, it even angered some folk even more. Because we look at this and we say, there's a situation where this young black boy, 4 college coaches got convicted and never be able to coach again. And you saw how it went down. The tapes is right. You saw how the money on the table, the coach didn't even touch the money. Little daddy grabbed the envelope every time. Them guys didn't even touch the money. And the ones that were on that camera, not speaking for the whole conglomerate of them, but you saw how it pretty much went down. It went down after watching the movie that day, worse than what we thought it was. We thought it was like, but yeah, you might, man, really? Dude, I mean, come on, man. And so we're talking about the movie, The Scheme. And of course, yeah, thanks, Trey, Jill didn't take the stand either. Yeah, neither one of the FBI agents, they were not allowed to get on the stand. Because the videotapes, we don't know how much tape was cut out. You know, I mean, it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. And the ultimate kick in the ass is to look back and you see the head coach from Louisville was just hired last week, and he's back in college coaching after only 2 years. He's a head coach at Iona.
Rick Pitino.
They knew this story was coming out. They knew that it could be some stuff up in here.
They didn't even talk about Rick Pitino that much in the documentary. Jimmy, I thought it, you know, I didn't think it was that interesting of a maybe because I know the characters involved a little more intimately than a lot of people. I didn't, like you say, everybody gonna be watching. I guess a lot of people watch it. I didn't watch it I watched it late last night. And I looked at it and I said, I'm glad I didn't waste my time. Excuse me. I'm glad I didn't waste my prime time watching it. I watched it in the middle of the night. And I saw a lot of stuff because people talking about he was set up. But Jimmy, in my lifetime, I always find out people know who they can set up. They dangle a bait, the bait there. They know Christian Dawkins was known to talk. Anytime you got to go around talking about how many coaches you got in your phone. And one thing about it that I'm still trying to wrap around my mind is how they misexplain. I didn't really explain the Uber thing. They just call it the Uber thing. But Jimmy, if your son was a professional basketball player and somebody ran a $42,000 tab up on his thing, that's a big deal. That's a big, Jimmy, don't tell me you don't know. Uber you take, you know. They're going to ask you want PayPal, you want with this, you want this. You know that's not your card that you're charging. He didn't explain that enough to me. I sit there and said, should have just left that out. If that's how you explain it, like, well, I just did this and I did this, and I was moving so fast, I was doing this for the, nah. So it's just a lot of things. Young man, you on a yacht, okay? You from Saginaw, Michigan. If anybody ever been to Saginaw, Michigan, wait till you take a visit up. You from Saginaw, Michigan, and you're on a yacht in New York. Everybody in there white that you really don't know. And you in there watching them exchange money, and you exchanging money, and you signing your name to something. You know, because everybody was talking about how brilliant he was, how brilliant with us. That's not brilliant. So I know you had to have one side. I have to give you another side to look at. And of course, wasn't it? You know, they call it entrapment, Jimmy. Jimmy, they knew they had a talker. A guy who want to be important. So we going to dangle this to him and he going to give us everything. They thought he was going to give them up them coaches. He even said, these people dumb. Dude, millionaires ain't dumb. Young men out there who might try this stupid stuff. If you got, they ain't dumb, especially with that money. They might be dumb with girls and broads and whatever and hookers, whatever. They ain't dumb with money. And the reason and guess what, Jimmy? His spidey sense sensed something was wrong. Merle sensed it. Merle said, I don't want to talk to you. Don't have me no money. Merle sensed it. Merle said, no. So, but what happens is, Jimmy, when you get all of this stuff together, and people coming and doing this, even the coaches being in the room, you said they didn't touch the money. Jimmy, if you rob a bank and I got the car waiting, I ain't went in the bank. You get in my car, Jimmy, I'm an accomplice. So, I mean, it's just a lot of unique things. We got the scheme. And a lot of unique, yes, the little kid was an opportunist. Yes, he was this. His daddy was powerful. That's how he got the juice. The daddy was powerful up there. Draymond Green, all of them guys. You know how groupified this nation is. It's a celebrity-driven culture. You say you know somebody, you hang with somebody, and everybody loves you. There's a groupie society. You got where you would listen to celebrities over a doctor. Cardi B come and said, don't do this. Everybody, okay. But Dr. Fauci come and tell you not to do this. Y'all looking at him crazy. We living in a celebrity-driven culture. And this kid, and I have, from Detroit, and I don't know if y'all know, my our office is based in Detroit. I mean, from Michigan. It's just, it's a unique thing. I'm thinking about Lamont Evans and all of these guys who had their careers, had promising careers. Lamont had just signed a big deal, Jimmy, and came to a halt because of just dealing with this guy that just talks a little too much. That's why the FBI, that's why they went to him. So I'm just trying, in the future, young men, you ambitious guys in this AAU world. Jimmy be trying to tell y'all, dude, this stuff didn't happen for me overnight, dude. This stuff took years and years. You can't come in here and think you're going to win overnight. No, this microwave society. No. That dude wanted, they knew this dude wanted, guess what they knew? He wanted his old sports agency. Think about this, man. Because that guy tried to be employed by our company, right? But my CEO, he knew the cat he knew the cat and wouldn't hire him. Think about Andy Miller. Andy Miller, they even talked about him on the show. He, no matter how he paid players for years, he was successful in this business. He had a lot of dudes. His whole practice, y'all got to hear this one. His whole practice got demolished because of one hire, Christian Dawkins. He talked too much. Y'all, this game is to be sold, not told. Quit all that talking. I got this many coaches. I got this. Shut up. Just kill them in silence. They'll know what you do later. That's why I never tell people what I'm doing. Ain't y'all business. Later on, you're going to read about it. Let them tell it. I ain't got to tell it. Young men coming up in this industry. These people, think about this, y'all. Malachi Richardson went to Syracuse. Elfrid Payton. Those guys let a 19, 20-year-old boy, what you call it, Jimmy, influence them to go with this guy. Let me repeat that. These NBA players, getting ready to go to the NBA players' parents, you allow your son to have a night. Jimmy, your head should be swimming right now with where I'm going. You let a 19-year-old boy who has no experience in doing this, he's just got experience running his mouth, represent and tell your son what agency he goes to. So he had influence on him. This same 21-year-old boy is the one that got this boy's credit card. Guess what? Evidently, you got this guy's credit card in the Uber coach. Guess what? You must don't have one. Or you must don't have a card that you can charge your own Uber stuff on. But he's a young guy, 20-something years old. But $40-some thousand. But these the people that y'all having around your kids that's making decisions. Listen to me. Maverick and Rich, didn't make no decisions for LeBron in the beginning. Don't get that think what LeBron. They didn't. Aaron Goodwin, African American, made those decisions for him. They learned up under the guys that they went to Nike. One of them went to Nike. One of them went to CAA. They went and learned. They were learners under discipline. It took them years for this thing to culminate. Not your 22-year-old partner, 20-year-old. And let's hold up. There's some 22-year guys, old guys out there brilliant. But this kind of stuff, man, parents, it's got to stop. You know, I go to a game. I follow some games, and I go to a game. And I watch this, got an older gentleman, about 30, about 40-some years old, right? He always come to this game to watch this one player. Okay, he sit there, got his magazine, he got Jimmy's magazine. He come watch this one player. He never, listen to me, y'all. I've been older. He never have a guest with him. He never bring a woman. He never bring a friend. He never bring nobody. He just sitting up there watching this one player and sitting up there and watching this player all the time. I just want to tell you, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm a grown man, 40-some years old. No friends. Never bring a friend to the game. I find that odd. So he come to enough games and shake your kid's hand enough times. Your kid see him out at the mall. Your kid see him somewhere else. Guess what? Your kid becomes familiar with this guy. You follow me? Because he done came to parents. All I'm doing is telling you to wake up and keep your eyes on, especially if you got a kid, a high-level kid that somebody think might make a couple of coins every now and then. But you always play around with this, keep your circle small, but keep your circle smaller. The higher you go, because Jimmy, the higher the levels, the bigger the devils. The higher the levels, the bigger the devils. But that's all, man. I just wanted to share that because I watched the movie. I looked at the movie a lot different from everybody else. I just looked at it a lot different because I being around this industry and watching these kids make these bad decisions. Man, your decision-making ability is one of the most important things. And let me tell you something. Parents, we're smart. Some of us are smart. Some of us have knowledge. But Jimmy, if you don't have no wisdom to apply with that knowledge, it ain't no good. Bible said, above all, seek wisdom. Jimmy, I can have enough knowledge to know how to rob a bank. But guess what? I got wisdom to say, I ain't going to do it because I'm going to jail. It's just that simple. Oh, I got to have the knowledge to do anything. But you got to have wisdom to know not to do it. Parents, that's all I'm telling you, parents. I've seen it. I be at a lofty perch watching stuff. In other words, it's like I'm in a helicopter, Michael Jordan, in this business. And most people are just right there on the street in their cars. And all they can see is what? What's in front of them, the stoplight, the present circumstances, and what's around them. I have the advantage. If I'm in a helicopter, I can see where they need to go and where they need to be, but they can't see it because they sitting in the car. My job is on this show is to get your mind in the helicopter. I want to bring all the parents up in the helicopter so you can make better decisions for your kids. So 20 years from now, that dream I said or told y'all about, all our kids, all our student athletes being smarter. I told y'all, let's get used to people being successful around us. Black people ain't used to black people being successful. They're used to somebody else being successful. I used to, when I was little, I used to pass by and hoping, man, let's play like we white so we can get that car. That's how we used to think. But hey, I mean, I don't want to go no further, but we got over the years, we got to figure out that let's be smart enough. Let's be smart enough. And I know that some of the parents, he said, afraid of heights. I know it. But let's be smart enough where we can allow, and listen to me. So we won't keep allowing guys like Rob Pelinka and Leon Rose, to happen to be the GMs and the presidents of two of the most storied franchises in history of basketball. And they wouldn't get that if they didn't represent Kobe Bryant, Chris Paul, Melo. So on the backs of those young African-American men who grew up poor, with no assistance from Leon Rose or Rob Pelinka, but guys in their community helped those guys out. The Jimmy Hicks in their community, the Marcus Song, all of these guys. Yeah, it's guess what? It's a community of people that help all of these guys. A lot of these kids, I wouldn't know who they were if it wasn't for Doug, if it wasn't for Jimmy. These guys are fostering these guys to put them in a position and on a platform. But you go up there and you forget about these guys. He ain't ranked me because he didn't rank me. No. I told you the story about me going to Saudi Arabia, about me going to Africa and asking those kings and those guys, how can I be a part of, how can I get some of this oil over here? How can I own one of these oil wells? How can I get some of these diamond mines? And they said, no, Robert, you can't. And I said, why? Robert, these are our natural resources. We can't let you in, Doc. You can only come in limited. We can't let you in. You can't be at the top. These are now. So guess what? Our black athletes are our natural resources. Let's figure out a way to nurture them and quit trying to slick them and slick talk them and try to beat them out of something. And put them in a model and let's surround them and be able to sustain some in this community. Always remember, everybody our color is not our kind. I'm not talking about the fools that's going to go do this crazy stuff. I'm talking about there's some qualified people that look like you in this community that can guide your kid from the 9th grade all the way to the end of his career. And we got to seek those people out. Do your homework. That's all. But Jimmy, you know you can't get me there. You know you can't get me there. But you know that's a touchy subject to me. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to go so long. Well, go and wind this thing.
Yeah, well, it was shout out, of course, the legendary Ralph Cooper joined us on the feed and caught the end.
I'm sorry, Ralph.
Of Hatter's sermon. The old hustler in me might have to find a way to go and get an old tray or something and pass it around. And
don't pass it around, Coach.
Get a few coins and go buy a loaf of bread with that. But speaking of the people, I want to leave on a good note and remind you guys that as a result, tomorrow I got more news. Got some more news that you can expect from the NCAA. They are, remember they were supposed to be today was scheduled to convene the Final Four. When April the 1st. That's right. That's right. Coaches would have been arriving in Atlanta, which of course is canceled, and New Orleans for the females. Well, today would have marked the McDonald's game would have been held in Houston on this evening. I would have been flying out Thursday morning.
Me too.
Well, I'm sorry. No, my plane was leaving Thursday about I think at 4 o'clock after the show. I was darting on down there, but I wanted to give you something on a good note, and it should raise up your antenna. I'd say some people, a lot of stuff. Remember a couple of weeks ago, a lot of the schools in Texas, they discontinued for the school term the requirements of what is known as the STAR test.
Okay.
and lead some people to believe, okay, well, hell, we could do fine without this STAAR test. But that's a whole nother topic.
Right.
Economic reasons. Understand it.
Uh-huh.
Now, I want to give a shout out to Alabama State, who has been first in line
Okay.
to waive all SAT and ACT requirements for 2020 to 21. Alabama State, shout out to you guys, because trust me, that's the SWAT. They're not the only one going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter who's first.
And they're going to waive.
They're waiving all requirements for college entrance exams
Awesome.
for incoming freshmen.
Awesome.
So that means now, because this comes after, remember, the ACT and the SAT have both postponed their testing dates.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So that means the earliest that a person can get a test would be in June. If that, your test in June, your results don't come back. Your results don't come back to July.
That's interesting.
So you're in limbo. How you gonna get admitted? You don't know what's what. So that's that. And school starts at the end of August. So you got to get. So they're waiving it.
Yep.
However, you will have to have a 2.5
Okay.
GPA.
Okay.
And so now that's great.
And that's what the Fort Bend Ballers was talking to you about the other day when he was talking about the high academic standards of the NAIA.
NAIA,
Yes.
well, that's not an NAIA school.
NAIA, no. And HBCUs. He mentioned both of them. They were hand in hand. He had a slash.
Each house has, they have the authority. That's what I said. Remember, I answered
you. Said that.
I said every house is site-based management. I mentioned that Prairie View has a president who walked in there and required all athletes must maintain a 3.0. Oh, your ass ain't playing at Prairie View. That's at Prairie View.
I like that.
We don't care what the NCAA say. That's your minimum requirement. Go somewhere else. Over here, you're gonna have a 3.0. So that's their house rule. As a result, it's working. It's working because the basketball team came in first. Football team is competitive.
Yes.
You know, they were competitive. Much better than TSU's football team. See, I'm repping my Burgundy and my TSU. Go Tigers. Come on. You know. But back to this. Understand. So now who's going to be next? I mean, TSU don't have the president is acting right now. We don't have, so we don't expect TSU to jump and be the next in line. But somebody's going to be next. I would expect it would be great. Understand? I don't know what the attendance was because you have to realize something. I'll give you something real before we go at it. College attendance nationwide will be down this year. I say that again. College attendance will be down nationwide. That means there's a lot of kids who had college aspirations that will not be able to get in college this year. Why? Because economics. Think about the dad they use the term, it sounds a little bit sexier to some, but it still means the same. They say furloughed. Furloughed is fired. Furloughed is laid off.
You're talking about the people that were paying for their kids to go to school.
Think about it. So now there's people that's going to have to tap into their 401ks. There are people that's going to tap.
And by the way, the 401k has dropped, but keep going.
It's depleted. And they're going to get a penalty for many to get into it because if you get into it before a certain age, it's a penalty.
Yes, sir.
So that's, once again, economics. But understand, there's a lot of people that won't be able to afford college.
That's a good point.
Think about it. You're in April. Most people, there are a lot of people who kind of knew where they were going, had already got approved to go to certain.
That's right.
That means the school going to give you maybe 10,000. You got to come up with 12,000. You say, okay, I'll make that. I can save 1,000 a month. But now you're laid off.
That's a great point, man. That's a great point. Wow.
So now what do those kids do? Those families. This is something we can continue this conversation on tomorrow.
We don't talk about this.
And want to get, read a couple of quotes and share with you guys because for those that are just listening on your radios, I'm listening in your cars. I'm sorry. Joe Baldwin says, My father was a head high school coach and raised the state GPA eligibility requirements, and parents had a fit. His message, don't like it, don't put them in your program.
Hey, and Ken Lutz, Jimmy, he said, somebody said, they said, vertical integration, Hatter, from playground to professional, community support, controlling our resources, players and the leagues. Dude, it's going to happen. I'm telling you, it might not be in our lifetime, but it's some young guys that's coming up now that's listening to guys like me, and they're gonna keep adding around the country. And guess what? They're gonna be put in positions of power. They're gonna start running leagues. Think about it. You got black executives, you got black this, you got young African American guys that with integrity, that's putting themselves in position to make this a better world. But Jimmy, go on, get us out of here. Whatever you got, we'll crank it back up tomorrow.
Yeah, the clock done expired, and guess what? You know what?
Women Rock Wednesday.
Shout out to all the ladies out there.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to slide on down Dino's back and Yabba Dabba do this thing. Thanks so much for tuning into the Chop Shop. Thanks so much for those of you, if you haven't done so, make sure you share the show to your time, to your friends. Make sure you like our pages, YouTube, Facebook alike, Chop Shop HTX. Let somebody know about the Chop Shop. We'll be back here in 22 hours to wrap this thing up on what we call Baby Friday. That's our Thursdays. As you guys know, we're Monday through Thursday only. I know you're begging for some Fridays, but guess what? I'm going to physically distance myself from you guys on Friday. How about that? But meanwhile, we'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll chop it up again some more. And college coaches, guess what? You check your email box for the brand new cheat sheet booklet.
I ain't got mine, man.
I got about 15 calls this morning from college coaches say, boy, Hicks, they appreciative of the product from which you put out there. And one coach used today, he said the word comprehensive. He said, man, there's so many guys out there that they put stuff together, send us reports, and it is all over the place. And once again, makes me feel great. 19 years enrolling. This cheat sheet book.
Well, do me a favor. Make me feel great. I want to see one in my mailbox. I know I ain't no coach, but guess what? It helps me. It helps me, coach. I used to have one when a certain coach worked for a certain university. He used to make sure I had it. But man, I got to check that cheat sheet out. Let me cheat. Let me cheat a little bit too. But we out of here, y'all.
I'm up out and see you guys on tomorrow. Chop shop.
Above all sports hoops is where the action's at. Houston Classic, Summer Prep Show, June Jam, HNSS, Summer Finale. Make sure you register today.